I'm Malisha Khokomani and welcome to another inimitable episode of Bird Matters, because as you've gathered, birds matter. Coming up in this episode, we catch up with Albert Froneman and his photography. We also take a trip down to the Ras al Khor Wetlands and show you some larger-than-life images from the web. But first...
Hi, I'm Dane Marks. I think that these days, for the most part, birding and photography are inseparable. It's one thing to see a beautiful bird in the wilderness, and it's a natural progression to want to share that. That's where it begins. And then you realize you need a faster, longer lens with stabilization, a tripod. The list of gear is endless. Well, we caught up with Albert Froneman, one of South Africa's top birding photographers, and asked him to share some images and stories. Here's the first in a series of photographer profiles, Albert Froneman.
My name is Albert Froneman, and I've been doing photography for the better part of about 20-25 years. It all started out at school really when I did a biology project on a pair of black eagles, and to document their life history I borrowed my dad's long old Novaflex lens in those days, and painstakingly, with using slide film, spent many hours observing these birds and photographing them, and visiting game reserves like the Kruger Park very regularly. The passion for birds was always there. I mean, since I can remember, I've been interested in birds, and the interest in photography grew out of that to try and document and get very nice pictures and bring back the memories instead of just a list of the birds that I saw. So I try and portray a bit of behavior, a bit of interaction in birds specifically, and that makes it challenging. It's easy to go out with the technology that we have these days to photograph a bird perched out there. It's been done, and it's been done better. But to really get a spectacular action shot of a bird doing something, interacting with another species, within species, and then if you get something like that, it really shows people something that they don't always see of birds, and that in itself, I think, does a lot to convey a conservation message of an endangered species, how spectacular these birds actually are. So I do a lot of work with BirdLife where images are often used in the magazine, in different campaigns to essentially just promote the species itself, and really to get the message across. If you have strong, powerful images showing the birds, it goes a long way to really draw attention and interest from the general public about the birds. A lot of people always ask me, well, what is my favorite bird that I go out and photograph? I don't really have a specific favorite. I'm very fond of birds of prey, and right on the other side of the spectrum, the very small seed eaters, passerines that come and drink at a little bird bath where I can sit in a hide and get really up close and personal with them and observe them is as interesting. I mean, annually I make a few trips to the Botswana, Okavango Delta, spend a lot of time there, up on the Zambezi River, carmine bee eaters. So no, there's not one single species that I can say, John, I'm the Pell's fishing owl guy or whatever. I just enjoy any common bird doing something interesting is as rewarding to me as a very rare species, just being able to get a photograph of it.
If you could give us some backstories to some photographs, I don't know if you can see those pictures.
Yeah, a recent experience, for example, was up in the north of the Kruger Park, where my wife and I set out to try and photograph some pennant-winged nightjars. And obviously, the real show of these birds are in flight, and photographing a nightjar in flight at night is not the easiest task with a still camera and a flash, and one is concerned about scaring the birds off using a flash. So we start off in very dim light, just trying to get some image of the bird, and eventually started using a little bit of full flash. And it was a hit and miss affair, but both of us came away with some really spectacular and unique images. And it's experiences like that where you take an elusive bird like that everyone just even wants to see during the day, and here we find it at night, and really some spectacular shot that we got of it.
One of our crew recently passed through Dubai, and to break up the journey and get away from all that is modern, he took a short taxi to the wetlands at the top of the Dubai Creek, which is also known as the Ras al Khor Wildlife Sanctuary. The wetlands are home to 270 species of birds, but we focused on seeing the over 3,000 greater flamingos that migrate there for the winter. Wetlands are the lifeblood of flamingos, and this sanctuary is part of Dubai's contribution to creating global awareness for the importance of wetlands, which are under threat globally. If you would love a flamingo experience in South Africa, two of the best places to visit are Campus Dam in Kimberley and the Langaban Lagoon, which is in the West Coast National Park.
If you'd like to find out more about birding, or maybe you're interested in finding a local bird club, simply visit the BirdLife South Africa website. It's a great resource, and it has a list of bird clubs throughout South Africa. And now for something completely different. We shared some beautiful photography from Albert Froneman, and here's something that apparently doesn't rank quite as highly. So that's it for this episode. Please subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends.
Yes, and please do go and support the video makers and watch the full videos that we have online. That's it then.
Cheers.